Welcome back, class. It's time for lesson 10 in fractions. It's going to be subtraction with fractions. Hopefully you've watched all of the videos leading up to this because we're going to be using all of those skills you need to have. Lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and even a little bit of 9 from the math video or the addition video yesterday is going to be helpful for you in working with subtraction today. Why do you care? Again, just like in addition, this is what you guys have been working up to this whole time, being able to put all of those steps together and use all of those skills in conjunction together to come up with an answer to challenging problems. Okay. Goals for this lesson, we're going to review some of those skills again, and we're going to learn, just like with addition, 2 strategies for solving subtraction problems with fractions. Okay. I do want to point out that the problems you're going to get, it's a 2-part problem, and it's got a whole number, and it's got a mixed number, and it's got an improper fraction. Almost none of the problems that you'll be getting in your classes at this level of math will probably be as difficult. But I wanted to have every kind of fraction in there for you so that you would be able to see me work on every different possibility for a problem. So true facts of mathematical truth, just like in addition, to subtract fractions we need common denominators, okay? And then at the end of your problem you're going to want to put it into a mixed number all the way down into the lowest terms and reduced for the fraction side of that mixed number. And finally, you won't need all of these steps, like I said, for every single problem. So when you get there, just skip them. And a little heads up for people in my class at San Miguel in Chicago, I'm going to be expecting you to come up, just like with the addition videos, a little step-by-step checklist on how to solve any subtraction problem with fractions. Sounds good. Let's take a look at our first problem. And just like with addition, we're going to start with the mixed number strategy. So in this, we're going to use every number, write every number as a mixed number. So in this case, we have 5. That's fine. We don't need to change that to a mixed number quite yet. Okay. 1 2/3 already a mixed number, so we don't have to worry about that. And then finally, 13/12 right there. That's not going to be a problem for us. Okay, 13/12 right there. Let me move that mouse out of the way real quick. Great. 13/12, we need to change that into a mixed number. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to change 13/12. Remember, you need to put the numerator divided by the denominator. 12 is going to not fit into 1, but it fits into 13 one time. Subtract out, and I will get 1. So 1, remainder 1. That's great. I'm going to rewrite my problem. 5 minus 1 2/3 minus 1 1/12. Okay. So with subtraction, we're going to take it one at a time. One at a time. Okay. It's not like addition where you can just add the whole way through. So the first part we're going to do is this part right here. We're going to get an answer, and then we'll come back and subtract the final 1 1/12. So I'm going to show you what I like to do for subtraction. I like to make this little box right here, okay, kind of like with the whole number, or with addition in the mixed number strategy. And we're going to have the whole number here, and I'm going to put my fraction right there. So I've got right now 5 and 0 out of, well, let's hold on, and I'll show you a little trick. 1 2/3. Now, I said that you need a common denominator in order to subtract, so make sure that when you're putting this here, don't just put a 1, okay? Put a 3, because it doesn't matter. We have a 0 up there for our 0 parts. So put a 3, because right now you have 5 and 0 out of 3 parts, okay? That's an advantage of having a whole number to start, and you don't have to find it. You can just make 0 out of 3 or 0 out of whatever your denominator is already, okay? Now we are going to have to borrow. And we've talked about this in previous lessons, but when this 5 becomes a 4, I don't take 10 over like I would in base 10 whole number subtraction. I need to take, I'm taking a 1 over, right? I'm taking 1, and that 1 split into 3 parts. So now instead of 0, I have 3. Now I'm all ready to subtract. I can take 3 minus 2 is going to give me 1/3, and 4 minus 1 is going to give me 3 1/3. Now what we have to do is subtract out, bring back down the next part of our problem. So I'm going to subtract 1 and 1/12. There we go. Very good. 1 and 1/12. That's looking very nice. So, excuse me. What we need to do is bring this down. Bring my page down so that we have some more room to work. Okay, let's start on showing our work for this one, shall we? I have got 3 and 1/3, 1 and 1/12. Well, they don't have common denominators. The greatest, or I should say the least common multiple, since 12 is a multiple of 3, I can just do 3, 6, 9, 12. So if I do 1/3 equals something over 12, I just counted to the 4th multiple, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 4. Okay, so I'm going to get 4/12, and I can start my process all over. Get my box, subtract it out, 1/12, 4/12. We can just subtract. 4 minus 1 is going to give us 3/12, and then we will have 2 and 13/12. Okay? If you can't find the least common multiple that easily, you can do the work. If you don't remember how to do it, you need to go back and watch the least common multiple video. I believe, if I just check real quick, yeah, it's lesson number 3. So you can go back and watch lesson 3's video if you need a refresher on that. It'll also be shown in the addition video, so you could watch lesson 10 as well. Or, I'm sorry, excuse me, lesson 9. Okay, so I've got an answer right there. 2 and 3/12. Now, your teacher's probably not going to like this answer very much. You're going to need to reduce it. So I know that I can divide, let's give some space, 2 and 3/12. I know that 3 is the greatest common factor of both of these numbers, so I'm going to divide by 3/3. Okay, it's going to give me 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So our final answer in reduced form, like I told you at the beginning, 2 and 1/4. Okay, so there's one strategy for solving it, using mixed numbers and borrowing across. The next way we're going to look at is the improper fraction strategy. Okay, so we have the exact same problem up here, but now instead of using mixed numbers, I want to use improper fractions. Okay, in improper fractions, first thing we're going to need to do is write everything as an improper fraction. So our 5 is going to become a 5/1. Okay, our 1 and 2/3, remember I want to multiply 3 times 1 to give me 3, and then add my numerator. So that'll be 3 plus 2 is 5, minus 5/3 minus 13/12. Okay. Again, we can only do one section of this at a time, so we take the first section first, okay? Remember, if there's multiple operations in the same expression going across, you need to do whichever one comes on the left first if they're the same, right? Since they're both subtraction, you do first come, first serve. Start on the left and work your way over. These do not have common denominators, but it's going to be really easy to change a 1 into a 3, you know it's just 1 times 3. So I'm going to just redo that down here for you. 1 times 3 is going to give me 3, and 5 times 3 is going to give me 15. So now I have 15 minus 5/3, which you guys can look at me and tell me real easy is 10/3. Wonderful. So what do I need to do now? I need to bring down that answer, and I need to bring down the last section of my problem. Scroll down here so it's a little bit easier to see. I have 10/3 minus 13/12. Okay, so now we have a little bit of an issue. We don't have a common denominator, and this one will be a little bit harder. You saw in the previous one that our common denominator is going to be 12. Okay, so in order to get from 3 to 12, I'm going to multiply by 4. So I'm just going to do this. Okay. I'm going to bring that 3 down, multiply top and bottom by 4 times 4. So I'm going to end up with 40 over 12 minus 13 over 12. So I'm going to write it out like it's 40 minus 13, because remember, when you're adding and subtracting with fractions, you're only doing the work with the numerator, okay? The denominator stays the same. You keep your denominator throughout the problem into your answer. I went real fast in the addition video, and I actually put a numerator for my denominator, so I didn't even follow my own advice. So take your time with this, okay? If it seems like I'm going fast, you can pause, rewind, watch a step over again. All right, don't rush through your problems. Double check your work. You'll do just fine. Okay. Need to borrow. I've got 3, 7, 2, 27 over 12. Good. I've got an answer there. Problem is, it's not in mixed number form and it's not in lowest terms. Okay. So at this point, you can either simplify first or you can turn it into a mixed number first. I'll say let's simplify it so we can practice finding the greatest common factor. We're going to need to take 27 and 12, and I'm going to do a factor tree. Got a 9 and a 3, and then 2 more 3s. 12, I'm going to have 3 and a 4. That was the wrong one that I circled. I'm going to have a 3 and a 4. It's going to break down into 2s. I'm going to find my greatest common factor, which a lot of you can already see is going to be 3, because that's the only match we have, right? We can match these 2 3s, draw a little pair of glasses, and none of these 3s match these 2s. But if you do the sorting system, you'll see it just as easily. 27 had 3 3s, and 12 had only 1 3 with 2 2s. So the only thing that matched for the greatest common factor, GCF, GC full, like you've seen in the other videos, is 3. So we can reduce the top and the bottom by a common factor of 3. I'll do that in red for you. 27 over 12 divided by 3 over 3 is going to give us 9 over 4. Finally, last step, we need to change that improper fraction into a mixed number. So I'm going to divide 9 by 4. Fits in twice, subtract out my 8, it's going to give me a remainder of 1. That means I have 2 wholes. In blue, final answer, I have 2 wholes and 1 part of, keep your denominator, 4. Okay, 2 and 1/4. That's the exact same answer we got on the previous page. If we go back and pull it down, 2 and 1/4. Very good. If you guys have any questions, please come ready in class, or give me a call. Have a great night. Bye-bye.